As the sun began to set, one hunter quietly left the safety of his tribe. He believed he could survive alone, unaware that this simple decision would become his greatest mistake. Walking confidently into the dense prehistoric forest, he saw only opportunity. Hidden among the towering trees were dangers far greater than he imagined. Fresh footprints covered the muddy ground beneath his feet. Without stopping to examine them, he ignored one of nature's most important warnings. Not far away, a saber-toothed tiger watched silently from behind thick bushes. It had already spotted the hunter long before he noticed anything unusual. Within moments, wolves emerged from every direction, alone and surrounded. The hunter realized that confidence was no match for numbers. Thinking quickly, he climbed onto a large rock beyond the wolves' reach. The predators waited patiently below, armed with only a single spear. The hunter fought bravely. Every attack reminded him that even the strongest individual could be overwhelmed. As darkness settled across the forest, he looked toward the distant glow of his tribe's campfire and understood the value of never facing danger alone. The next hunt was different. Working together, the tribe surrounded a mammoth with careful planning and teamwork, returning home with food for everyone. The hunter learned that survival belonged to those who hunted together. As night fell, the warm campfire became the center of the tribe's world, providing heat, light, and protection. Believing the fire would last until morning, the tired hunter drifted to sleep as the flames slowly faded. When he awoke, the fire had completely disappeared. Only silence and the cold darkness remained. From deep within the forest, glowing eyes slowly appeared. Predators had been waiting for the protective flames to vanish. Desperately, the hunter searched for dry branches while wolves crept closer with every passing second. He rubbed 2 dry sticks together as fast as he could. Sweat covered his face while danger closed in. At last, a tiny spark landed on the dry grass, bringing hope in the middle of the darkness. The little flame quickly grew into a roaring fire. Startled by the light and heat, the wolves backed away. Before dawn, the hunter carefully added fresh firewood to keep the flames alive, determined not to repeat the same mistake. As the first sunlight reached the camp, the fire still burned brightly. He had learned that protecting the fire meant protecting every life in the tribe. Finding a safe place to sleep was just as important as finding food. One poor choice could become a fatal mistake before morning, especially in a world filled with hungry predators. The hunter chose to rest beside a peaceful river, unaware that countless animals visited the same place every night to drink and search for prey. As darkness covered the valley, he slept soundly while predators quietly approached the water's edge beneath the cold moonlight. A distant growl suddenly woke him. Opening his eyes, he saw glowing eyes staring back from the darkness beyond the river, growing closer every second. Without wasting a second, he grabbed his spear and escaped before the hungry wolves reached his campsite. The next day, he searched for higher ground where predators would have a harder time reaching him during the night. Soon he discovered a small cave high above the valley with only one narrow entrance, making it much easier to defend against dangerous animals. He built a fire at the cave entrance and placed heavy rocks nearby to create a safer shelter where his enemies could not easily surprise him. While wolves wandered below searching for prey, the hunter rested safely inside the cave beside the warm fire, finally sleeping without fear. He finally understood that choosing the right place to sleep could be the difference between seeing another sunrise or becoming another predator's meal. The following morning, the hunter entered the forest once again, paying closer attention to everything around him than ever before. Fresh footprints covered the muddy ground. This time, he stopped instead of walking past them without a thought. Different tracks revealed different stories. Wolves, mammoths, deer, and saber-toothed tigers all left unique signs behind for anyone willing to observe. Broken branches, scratched tree bark, and scattered fur told him that a dangerous predator had recently passed through the area. Following deer tracks carefully gave him a much better chance of finding food without taking unnecessary risks. Then he discovered enormous fresh saber-toothed tiger footprints leading directly across his path, warning him that danger was very near. Rather than continuing forward, he wisely changed direction and avoided entering the predator's territory without hesitation. As his skills improved, He began teaching younger tribe members how to recognize tracks left by different animals before every hunt. By following mammoth footprints from a safe distance, the tribe could prepare a successful hunt while avoiding unexpected danger. The hunter realized that every footprint was a message from nature, and those who learned to read these silent warnings greatly improved their chances of survival. The weather could change without warning, and nature was often more dangerous than any predator the hunter had ever faced during his journey. As dark clouds gathered over the mountains, he continued walking, unaware that a violent storm was rapidly approaching across the valley. Within minutes, powerful winds, heavy rain, and brilliant lightning swept across the landscape, forcing him to search desperately for shelter. Trying to cross a shallow river became a terrible mistake as sudden floodwaters rushed downstream with incredible force, carrying away trees and rocks. He quickly climbed on a higher ground, watching the raging water swallow everything below while realizing how powerless humans were against nature. Not long after the flood, the earth itself began to shake. Falling rocks crashed down the cliffs as he ran toward an open area to escape the danger. From a safe distance, he watched a volcano erupt, filling the sky with ash and glowing lava, reminding him how small humans truly were. When winter arrived, the tribe gathered beneath a rocky shelter, keeping a warm fire alive while a fierce blizzard buried the prehistoric world in snow. After surviving countless natural disasters, the hunter learned to study the sky, the wind, the clouds, and the behavior of animals before every journey. He later passed this knowledge to the younger generation, proving that respecting nature was just as important as defeating dangerous beasts. A successful hunt brought plenty of fresh meat back to the tribe, and everyone celebrated another hard-earned day of survival together. Believing there was more than enough food, the hunter carelessly left fresh meat uncovered outside the camp instead of preserving it properly. Before long, flies, scavenger birds, and hungry wolves were drawn to the powerful smell of the exposed food waiting beside the camp. By the next day, much of the valuable meat had spoiled, leaving the tribe with far less food than they had worked so hard to obtain. Determined not to repeat the mistake, the hunter learned to preserve meat by drying it slowly above a smoky fire for many days. He also discovered that every part of a hunted animal had value. Bones became tools, hides became warm clothing, and sinew strengthened stone weapons. The tribe built simple wooden racks to keep dried food safe from moisture, insects, and hungry animals throughout every season. Whenever food was plentiful, it was shared with children, elders, and injured hunters because everyone depended on one another to survive. Before the harsh winter arrived, the tribe carefully stored dried meat, stacked firewood, repaired shelters, and prepared every resource they would need. The hunter finally understood that survival depended not only on finding food, but on protecting every valuable resource, planning ahead, and wasting nothing that nature had provided. Confident in his own abilities, the hunter left the safety of his tribe and disappeared into the endless prehistoric wilderness alone. The deeper he traveled into the ancient forest, the more isolated he became, surrounded by towering trees and unfamiliar sounds. Without companions, every task became harder. Gathering firewood, finding food, and building shelter consumed all of his strength. As the sun disappeared behind the mountains, strange growls echoed through the forest and glowing eyes appeared between the trees. A pack of hungry wolves slowly surrounded him from every direction, patiently waiting for the perfect moment to attack. With no one beside him, the hunter lit an emergency fire, hoping the flames would keep the predators at a safe distance. Hearing his desperate cries, members of his tribe rushed through the darkness carrying burning torches and stone spears. Standing together as one, the tribe forced the wolves to retreat, proving that unity was stronger than any predator. Back at the camp, the hunter shared food and stories around the fire, grateful that his tribe had saved his life. From that day forward, he understood that surviving alone was nearly impossible, but together the tribe could overcome almost any danger. That night, the hunter quietly reflected on every mistake he had made since beginning his journey through the prehistoric world. Memories filled his mind, hunting alone, letting the fire die, sleeping beside the river, and ignoring the warning signs left by nature. Instead of repeating old mistakes, he carefully studied animal tracks, and every clue the wilderness offered before moving forward. He patiently taught younger hunters how to build safe campfires, choose secure shelters, and recognize danger before it arrived. Working side by side, the tribe built stronger shelters using wood, stone, and animal hides to better protect everyone. During the next mammoth hunt, every hunter had a clear role, and careful teamwork brought success without unnecessary risk. Over the years, experience transformed the once inexperienced hunter into a skilled survivor and a respected leader within the tribe. Standing together on a hill at sunrise, the tribe watched the prehistoric world with confidence instead of fear. Looking across the vast valley, the hunter realized that every lesson learned had made both him and his people stronger. The greatest mistake prehistoric humans could make was refusing to learn, because survival always belonged to those who adapted, shared knowledge, and never stopped improving.